What if I told you that the first step toward creating a truly feminine look is not the makeup, not the wig, not the dress, and not even the perfect outfit? What if the secret begins with something much simpler, something many people overlook completely? For many crossdressers, the journey of creating a feminine appearance starts with a feeling of curiosity, excitement, confidence, and the desire to explore another side of themselves. But the biggest mistake many beginners make is focusing only on the outside. They search for the perfect dress, the perfect makeup technique, or the perfect hairstyle, but they forget the foundation that makes everything come together. A complete feminine look is not created in one moment. It is built step by step. It begins with understanding your body, your style, your comfort, and the small details that transform an ordinary appearance into something that feels authentic. And one of those important first steps for many people is understanding the role of lingerie in creating a feminine silhouette. Now, before you think this is only about clothing, understand this. Lingerie is not just a piece of fabric. It represents confidence, preparation, and attention to detail. The right foundation can completely change the way clothing sits on your body and the way you carry yourself. Many experienced crossdressers know that the secret to a convincing feminine appearance is not about hiding who you are. It is about learning how different elements work together. The goal is not simply to put on feminine clothing. The goal is to understand how to create harmony between shape, movement, style, and confidence. When someone begins exploring a feminine look, the first thing they often notice is how different clothing creates a different mindset. The way you stand changes. The way you move changes. Even the way you see yourself in the mirror can change. That emotional connection is one of the most powerful parts of the experience. But creating a feminine look that feels natural requires patience. It requires learning what works for your own body instead of copying someone else's appearance. Every person has a different shape, different features, and a different style that suits them. The biggest transformation usually happens when you stop asking, "How can I look like someone else?" and start asking, "How can I bring out my own feminine expression?" That simple change in thinking can completely change your journey. Many beginners rush into buying everything at once. They collect clothes, makeup products, accessories, and wigs without understanding the basics. But a beautiful feminine presentation is not created by having more things. It is created by knowing how to use the right things. The foundation matters. Think about a professional artist. Before creating a masterpiece, they prepare the canvas. Before building a beautiful home, they create a strong foundation. A feminine look works the same way. The small details that nobody notices are often the details that create the biggest difference. Choosing the right foundation pieces, understanding proportions, selecting colors that complement you, and learning how fabrics interact with your body are all skills that improve over time. For many crossdressers, lingerie becomes the first personal step in this process because it helps create awareness of shape and presentation. It allows you to understand how different styles influence your overall appearance. But the most important thing is comfort. A confident person will always appear more attractive than someone who is uncomfortable. If something does not feel right, it will affect your posture, your movement, and your confidence. The best choices are the ones that make you feel comfortable and allow you to express yourself naturally. Confidence is the part of femininity that no product can buy. You can have expensive clothing, professional makeup, and a perfect hairstyle, but if you do not feel confident, the look will not feel complete. That is why the journey starts from within. Many people who explore crossdressing experience a powerful moment when they finally see a version of themselves that feels exciting and meaningful. It is not only about appearance. It is about self-expression. The mirror becomes more than a reflection. It becomes a place where you discover creativity, personality, and confidence. But how do you turn a simple feminine outfit into a complete feminine look? The answer is learning the details that create balance. The right colors can make features stand out. The right fit can create a smoother appearance. The right accessories can complete the personality you want to express. And the biggest secret is understanding that femininity is not a single style. Femininity can be elegant, casual, glamorous, cute, professional, bold, or simple. There is no single formula. The best feminine look is the one that matches your own personality. Many successful crossdressers spend years learning these small details. They experiment, make mistakes, improve, and slowly discover what works best for them. Every attempt teaches something new. Maybe the first makeup style does not look perfect. Maybe the first outfit does not create the expected result. Maybe the first time looking in the mirror feels different than imagined. That is completely normal. Every skill starts with learning. The people who improve the fastest are not the ones who start perfectly. They are the ones who stay curious and keep practicing. And there is one more important secret that many beginners do not realize. The most feminine part of your appearance is not something you wear. It is the confidence you develop while wearing it. Because when confidence, comfort, and personal style come together, the transformation becomes much more powerful than clothing alone. And in the next part, we will explore how to choose the right foundation pieces, understand body proportions, and create a feminine silhouette that looks natural while keeping comfort and confidence at the center of the journey. The next step in creating a complete feminine look is understanding that every detail works together. Many beginners focus on only one area, like clothing or makeup, but a truly polished appearance comes from creating balance between different elements. Imagine seeing someone with a beautiful outfit but uncomfortable movement, or perfect makeup, but clothing that does not match their body shape. Something feels incomplete. That is because a feminine presentation is not created by one single item. It is created by the connection between everything. The foundation pieces you choose can influence the entire look. They can affect how clothing falls, how your silhouette appears, and how comfortable you feel throughout the day. Comfort is something that should never be ignored. A common mistake many beginners make is choosing something because it looks good on someone else. But every body is different. What works perfectly for one person may not create the same result for another person. The goal is not to copy someone else's appearance. The goal is to understand your own features and create a style that feels natural for you. This is where patience becomes your greatest tool. Learning feminine presentation is like learning any other skill. Nobody becomes an expert overnight. Makeup artists, fashion designers, and stylists all spend years understanding colors, shapes, textures, and techniques. The same learning process applies here. Start by observing. Pay attention to details. Notice how different outfits create different impressions. Notice how colors change the way your features appear. Notice how small adjustments can completely transform the final result. One of the most important lessons is understanding proportions. Clothing creates visual balance. Certain styles can highlight specific areas, while others can create a smoother overall appearance. Understanding this does not mean changing who you are. It means learning how fashion works. For example, the shape of a top, the length of a skirt, the style of pants, or the placement of accessories can all influence the way someone's appearance is perceived. Fashion is a language. The clothes you choose communicate a feeling before you even say a word. Do you want your look to feel elegant, relaxed, confident, playful, professional, romantic? Every choice contributes to the story you're creating. This is why building a personal style is more rewarding than simply trying to achieve a certain image. A lot of crossdressers discover that the most enjoyable part of the journey is experimentation. Trying different styles helps you understand yourself better. Maybe one day you prefer a classic feminine look. Another day you may enjoy something completely different. That freedom of expression is one of the reasons many people find confidence through this journey. But there is also a practical side. Taking care of details can make a huge difference. Simple things like grooming, skincare, posture, and movement can often have a bigger impact than expensive products. Many people believe transformation requires buying more items, but often the biggest improvements come from learning better techniques. A confident posture can change the entire appearance. The way someone walks, sits, and moves can communicate confidence. When a person feels comfortable with themselves, that confidence naturally becomes visible. This is why the mental side of the journey is just as important as the physical side. Some people struggle because they compare themselves with others online. They see professional photos, perfect lighting, advanced makeup skills, and years of experience, then expect the same result immediately. But every person you admire started as a beginner. The difference is they continued learning. Instead of comparing yourself, focus on progress. Look at where you started and notice the improvements you make over time. Maybe your makeup skills improve. Maybe you understand your style better. Maybe you feel more confident expressing yourself. Those small victories are what create long-term growth. Another important part of creating a feminine look is understanding the importance of color. Colors can completely change the mood of an outfit. Some colors create a soft and elegant feeling, while others create a bold and powerful impression. Finding colors that complement your features can make your appearance feel more natural. You do not need hundreds of clothing options. A few carefully chosen pieces that match your style can create many different looks. Quality and understanding are often more valuable than quantity. The same idea applies to accessories. Accessories are not just decorations. They help complete the personality of the look. A simple necklace, a handbag, earrings, or a carefully chosen pair of shoes can add character and create a finished appearance. But the most important accessory is always confidence. Without confidence, even the most expensive outfit can feel incomplete. With confidence, even a simple look can become memorable. This is why the journey of creating a feminine appearance is also a journey of self-discovery. Many people find that exploring their feminine side helps them understand themselves better. It can become a creative outlet, a way to relax, and a way to express the part of their personality. There is no single correct way to experience this journey. Some people enjoy creating glamorous transformations. Others prefer subtle, everyday styles. Some enjoy fashion experimentation, while others focus more on confidence and presentation. Every journey is personal. The important thing is creating a positive experience where you feel comfortable, respected, and confident. And now comes one of the biggest secrets that can completely improve your feminine presentation. Your final look is not created when you put on the last piece of clothing. It is created by the attitude you bring with you. The way you see yourself influences the way others see you. When you stop focusing only on trying to achieve perfection and start focusing on enjoying the process, everything changes. The pressure disappears, creativity increases, and your confidence grows. In the next part, we will go deeper into practical techniques for creating a more complete feminine appearance, including styling choices, common mistakes beginners make, and how to develop a look that feels uniquely yours. One of the biggest turning points in creating a feminine look happens when you stop thinking of transformation as a disguise and start seeing it as a form of personal expression. Many beginners believe the goal is to completely become someone else. They think they need to hide every natural feature and recreate a different person. But the most impressive transformations usually happen when someone understands how to work with their own features instead of fighting against them. A feminine look becomes more natural when every element feels connected. The clothing, hairstyle, makeup, accessories, and body language should tell the same story. Think about your favorite style icons. What makes them memorable is not only what they wear. It is the confidence, personality, and energy they bring to the look. That same principle applies to anyone exploring a feminine presentation. The first thing to improve is awareness. Before choosing an outfit, take time to understand your own shape. Look at your proportions, your height, your features, and the styles that make you feel comfortable. This knowledge will help you make better choices and avoid frustration. A common mistake is buying clothing based only on appearance without considering how it works with your own body. A piece of clothing can look amazing on a model but create a completely different result for another person. This is why learning your own style is so important. The best fashion choice is not always the trendiest one. It is the one that makes you feel confident. Confidence changes everything. When someone feels comfortable, their movements become more natural. Their posture improves. Their expressions become more relaxed. These small details create a stronger impression than many people realize. This is why practicing your presentation can be so valuable. Spend time becoming comfortable with your look. Walk around your room. Try different outfits. Experiment with different hairstyles. Notice what feels natural and what is not. Every experiment teaches you something. Another important area is learning how to create a balanced appearance. Many beginners focus heavily on one feature while ignoring the overall picture. For example, they may spend a lot of time on makeup, but choose an outfit that does not match the style they want. A complete feminine look requires harmony. The goal is not to make every detail stand out. The goal is to make every detail work together. This is why professional stylists think about the entire appearance instead of only one part. They consider colors, textures, shapes, and personality. You can use the same approach. Start with the feeling you want your look to create. Do you want a soft and elegant style? A confident and powerful style? A casual, everyday feminine style? A glamorous evening appearance? Once you understand the feeling, your choices become much easier. Your style becomes a reflection of your personality. Another area that can dramatically improve a feminine appearance is understanding makeup as enhancement rather than a mask. Makeup is a tool for highlighting features, creating balance, and expressing creativity. The best makeup does not always mean the most makeup. Often, simple techniques applied correctly create the most natural and confident result. Learning basic skills like understanding skin preparation, blending, and choosing suitable shades can make a bigger difference than using many products without technique. Practice is the secret. Nobody becomes skilled by watching one tutorial. Improvement comes from trying, adjusting, and learning what works. The same applies to hair. A hairstyle can completely change the impression of a look. Different lengths, textures, and styles create different personalities. Some people feel most confident with a classic style. Others enjoy experimenting with something bold and unique. There is no single definition of femininity. That is one of the most important things to remember. Femininity can be expressed in countless ways. It can be gentle or powerful, simple or dramatic, traditional or modern. The most beautiful presentation is the one that feels authentic. Now let's talk about something many people overlook: emotional confidence. A person can spend hours preparing their appearance, but if they feel nervous or uncomfortable, that feeling can affect the entire experience. Building confidence takes time. Start with small steps. Maybe the first step is simply feeling comfortable with your style privately. Maybe later you experiment with different settings or share your experience with trusted people. Everyone has their own pace. There is no competition. The purpose of this journey is not to prove something to others. It is about understanding yourself and enjoying the creativity that comes with self-expression. Another powerful lesson is learning from mistakes. Every experienced crossdresser has moments where an outfit did not work, makeup did not turn out as expected, or a style choice was not the right match. Those moments are not failures. They are lessons. Every mistake gives you information about what works better next time. The people who improve the most are the ones who stay curious. They ask questions. They experiment. They keep learning. Over time, these small improvements create a dramatic difference. A complete feminine look is built from hundreds of small decisions. The right foundation, the right fit, the right colors, the right attitude, the right confidence. And when all these pieces come together, the result is not just an appearance. It becomes an experience. A moment where you look in the mirror and recognize a version of yourself that feels creative, confident, and complete. But there is still one final level that separates an average feminine look from a truly memorable one. It is something that has nothing to do with expensive clothing or advanced techniques. It is the ability to embrace your own style without fear. Because the most powerful transformation happens when you are no longer trying to impress everyone else. You are simply expressing yourself. And in the final part, we will explore the mindset, confidence habits, and finishing touches that can take your feminine presentation to the next level. The final step in creating a complete feminine look is the one that cannot be bought, copied, or borrowed from anyone else. It is the way you carry yourself after everything is finished. You can spend hours choosing the right outfit, carefully applying makeup, styling your hair, and paying attention to every little detail. But the moment you start doubting yourself, that uncertainty begins to show. On the other hand, someone wearing a much simpler outfit can leave a lasting impression simply because they believe in themselves. That is why confidence is the finishing touch that completes every feminine look. Confidence does not mean believing you are perfect. It means accepting that you are learning, growing, experimenting, and allowing yourself to enjoy the process. Many people think experienced crossdressers never feel nervous. The truth is, almost everyone has felt that way at some point. The difference is that experience teaches you to focus less on perfection and more on self-expression. When you stop chasing perfection, You begin to notice progress. You realize your makeup looks better than it did a few months ago. Your outfits become more coordinated. Your understanding of color improves. You know which styles flatter your body. You move more naturally. You smile more often because you are no longer worrying about every tiny detail. That is real progress. Another habit that makes a huge difference is taking your time. Rushing almost always leads to disappointment. Instead of trying to finish everything as quickly as possible, enjoy each step. Prepare your outfit. Organize your accessories. Take your time with grooming. Practice your makeup techniques. Adjust your hairstyle until it feels right. Stand in front of the mirror and look at the complete picture instead of focusing on only one small detail. Sometimes stepping back for a moment helps you notice things you would otherwise miss. Lighting also changes how you see yourself. A look that appears different under one light may appear much softer and more balanced under another. This is why many experienced people check their appearance in different lighting before deciding whether something needs adjustment. Another important lesson is developing your own signature style. Think about people whose fashion you admire. They are often recognizable because they have consistency. Maybe they always choose elegant outfits. Maybe they prefer soft colors. Maybe they love vintage fashion. Maybe they enjoy modern minimalism. Whatever it is, their style reflects who they are. You can build that same consistency over time. Instead of buying random pieces that do not work together, slowly create a collection that matches your personality. Choose colors you genuinely enjoy. Choose clothing that makes you feel confident. Choose accessories that complete your look instead of overwhelming it. Remember, more is not always better. Sometimes simplicity creates the strongest impression. One elegant outfit worn with confidence often stands out more than an outfit filled with too many competing details. Learning when to stop is just as important as learning what to add. Another area that deserves attention is body language. The way you stand, walk, and sit communicates confidence before anyone notices your clothing. Practice standing with relaxed shoulders. Avoid unnecessary tension. Walk at a comfortable pace. Move naturally. There is no need to exaggerate movements. Authenticity always feels more convincing than trying too hard. The same applies to facial expressions. A genuine smile adds warmth to any appearance. Relaxed expressions often look more approachable than constantly worrying about whether everything is perfect. The goal is not to become someone else. The goal is to express another side of yourself in a way that feels genuine. That mindset changes everything. It removes pressure. It encourages creativity. It allows you to enjoy every stage of the journey. You may discover new fashion styles. You may improve your makeup skills. You may become more confident every month. And with each step, your feminine presentation becomes more natural because it reflects your own personality rather than someone else's expectations. If there is one lesson to remember from this entire journey, let it be this. A complete feminine look never begins with a dress alone. It begins with preparation. It grows through patience. It develops through practice. It becomes stronger through confidence. And it is completed by embracing your own unique style. Lingerie may be the first layer that helps create a smooth foundation for many crossdressers, but the true foundation is always self-confidence and self-understanding. Everything else is built on top of that. So don't compare your first step to someone else's 100th. Give yourself permission to learn. Celebrate every improvement. Experiment without fear. Discover what makes you feel beautiful, comfortable, and confident. Because the most unforgettable feminine look is never the one that copies everyone else. It is the one that reflects the person wearing it. Every outfit tells a story. Every choice teaches a lesson. Every attempt makes you more experienced. And every time you look in the mirror with a little more confidence than before, you are already succeeding. If today's video helped you see feminine presentation from a completely different perspective, then keep exploring, keep practicing, and keep building your own unique style one step at a time. Your journey is yours alone, and that is exactly what makes it special. Before we finish, there is one more lesson that many people only learn after months or even years of experience, and understanding it now can save you a lot of frustration. The most successful feminine transformations are rarely built in a single day. They are built through small improvements that happen over time. Every outfit teaches you something new. Every makeup session helps you understand your face a little better. Every styling choice gives you another piece of experience. Instead of expecting perfection immediately, think of every attempt as practice. One day you may discover that a certain color makes your complexion look brighter. Another day you may realize that a different neckline creates a more balanced appearance. You might find that a shorter hairstyle frames your face better than a longer one, or that simple accessories create a more elegant look than wearing too many at once. These discoveries cannot be rushed. They happen because you stay curious and keep experimenting. Many beginners also underestimate the importance of organization. Keeping your wardrobe organized makes styling much easier. When your favorite outfits, accessories, shoes, and beauty products are easy to find, getting ready becomes less stressful and much more enjoyable. The same applies to taking care of your clothing. Clean, well-maintained garments always look better than expensive pieces that have been neglected. Learning how to properly store wigs, wash delicate fabrics, and care for accessories helps everything last longer and keeps your presentation looking polished. Another valuable habit is taking photographs of your different looks. Not for comparison with others, but for comparison with yourself. Photos allow you to notice improvements that are difficult to see day by day. They also help you identify what works especially well and what you might like to change next time. Over time, you will build your own personal style guide without even realizing it. Something else worth remembering is that trends come and go, but personal style lasts much longer. Just because something is popular does not mean it is the right choice for you. Choose styles that make you feel comfortable, confident, and authentic. Fashion should support your personality, not replace it. You should also allow yourself to have fun. Experiment with different colors, different fabrics, different hairstyles, and different accessories. Sometimes your favorite look will be something you never expected to enjoy. Creativity is one of the greatest parts of this journey. There are no strict rules that say everyone must look the same. In fact, individuality is what makes a feminine presentation memorable. As your confidence grows, you may notice that you stop focusing on tiny imperfections. Instead, you begin appreciating the complete picture. You enjoy the process of getting ready. You appreciate how much you have learned. You become excited about trying new ideas rather than worried about making mistakes. That mindset creates lasting confidence. And perhaps the biggest lesson of all is understanding that every journey is unique. Some people love glamorous evening fashion. Others enjoy casual everyday looks. Some prefer classic elegance. Others enjoy modern trends. None of these choices are more correct than the others. The best style is the one that genuinely reflects who you are. When your appearance matches your personality, your confidence becomes natural instead of forced. People notice authenticity. They notice comfort. They notice when someone is enjoying expressing themselves. That positive energy is often remembered long after the details of the outfit have been forgotten. So, continue learning. Continue experimenting. Continue discovering what makes you feel your best. Because every step you take adds another layer of experience, another layer of confidence, and another layer of personal style. And eventually, you will realize that creating a complete feminine look was never about becoming someone else. It was always about discovering the most confident version of yourself. There is another question that comes up again and again, especially from people who are just beginning their journey. They ask, how do I know when my feminine look is finally complete? The answer surprises many people because there is no single moment where everything suddenly becomes perfect. Instead, there are small moments that slowly build your confidence. Maybe one day you put together an outfit without second-guessing yourself. Maybe your makeup takes half the time it used to. Maybe you find yourself smiling when you look in the mirror instead of immediately searching for flaws. Those are the moments that tell you that you are growing. Progress is often quiet. It happens while you are busy practicing, experimenting, and learning. One of the best habits you can develop is paying attention to the details that make you feel good instead of only focusing on the things you wish you could change. Every person has unique features, and learning to work with them is much more rewarding than constantly trying to hide them. Fashion has always been about creating balance. Some outfits create a softer appearance. Others create a sharper and more modern style. Some colors naturally draw attention, while others create a calm and elegant impression. As you continue exploring different combinations, you will begin noticing patterns. You will start recognizing which fabrics you enjoy wearing. You will know which cuts feel comfortable. You will naturally reach for colors that match your personality. That is when your wardrobe starts becoming truly yours. Another helpful exercise is creating complete outfits instead of collecting random pieces. Think about how every item works together. The shoes, the accessories, the hairstyle, the makeup, the clothing. When every element supports the same style, the final presentation becomes much stronger. This does not mean every outfit has to be expensive. Some of the most elegant looks are built around simple pieces chosen thoughtfully. Style is not measured by price. It is measured by coordination. Take inspiration from others, but avoid copying every detail. Use inspiration as a starting point, then adapt it to suit your own preferences. Over time, people will begin recognizing your personal style instead of seeing someone else's. That is one of the most satisfying parts of the journey. You are no longer following trends. You are creating your own identity. It is also important to remember that confidence grows outside the mirror as well. The patience you develop while learning new skills often carries into other parts of life. The creativity you discover through fashion can inspire other hobbies. The discipline you build by practicing regularly helps you improve in many different areas. Sometimes the biggest transformation has very little to do with appearance. It comes from realizing that you are capable of learning something completely new. Every challenge you overcome makes the next one feel a little easier. Eventually, the process becomes enjoyable rather than intimidating. You stop worrying about getting everything exactly right. Instead, you become excited to try a new hairstyle, experiment with a different outfit, or discover a new styling technique. That curiosity keeps the journey fresh. It keeps you improving. And most importantly, it reminds you that there is always something new to learn. The people who continue growing are not the ones who never make mistakes. They are the ones who never stop learning from them. So if you ever feel like your progress is slower than someone else's, remember that every expert was once a beginner. Every polished look started with simple practice. Every confident person once doubted themselves. The only real difference is that they kept going. And if you keep learning, keep practicing, and keep enjoying the process, your own confidence will continue growing one step at a time, making every future transformation feel even more natural than the last. There is one final lesson that deserves attention before we bring everything together, because this is often the point where many people either gain confidence or lose motivation. The difference usually has nothing to do with appearance. It comes down to expectations. When people first begin exploring a feminine presentation, they often expect every transformation to look perfect immediately. They compare themselves to experienced creators who have spent years refining their skills. They forget that what they are seeing is usually the result of countless hours of practice, experimentation, and learning. Give yourself permission to be a beginner. There is absolutely nothing wrong with learning one skill at a time. Maybe this week you focus on understanding clothing that fits your body comfortably. Next week you spend more time practicing makeup. After that you learn more about hairstyles or accessories. Little by little those separate skills begin working together. One day you suddenly notice that getting ready feels much easier than it used to. That is not luck. That is experience. Another helpful mindset is to stop thinking that every transformation has to look exactly the same. Some days you may want a soft and natural appearance. Other days you may enjoy something more glamorous. Sometimes, less makeup feels right. Sometimes you enjoy experimenting with something more dramatic. Both approaches are perfectly valid because they express different moods and different styles. Fashion has always been a creative art. There is room for elegance. There is room for simplicity. There is room for bold choices. There is room for subtle details. As long as your choices make you feel comfortable and confident, they are helping you create your own identity. It is also worth remembering that confidence is built through repetition. The first time you try something new, it often feels unfamiliar. The second time it feels slightly easier. The third time you begin noticing improvements. Months later you look back and realize how much you have grown without even noticing it. That is why consistency is more valuable than chasing perfection. Spend time enjoying the process instead of rushing toward an imaginary finish line. The journey itself teaches you far more than the destination ever could. Another small habit that makes a surprisingly big difference is paying attention to the little finishing touches. Keeping your clothing neat. Making sure everything fits comfortably. Checking that your accessories complement rather than compete with each other. Choosing footwear that matches the style of the outfit. Making small adjustments before deciding your look is complete. These tiny details often separate an outfit that looks unfinished from one that feels polished. The wonderful thing is that none of these improvements require perfection. They simply require awareness. The more attention you give to the details, the more natural your styling decisions become. Eventually, you stop asking yourself what you should wear. You simply know what feels right. That confidence cannot be purchased. It comes from experience. It comes from patience. It comes from allowing yourself to grow without unnecessary pressure. And perhaps that is the greatest reward of all. Not creating the perfect feminine look, but creating a look that genuinely feels like your own. Because the moment your appearance reflects your personality instead of someone else's expectations, your confidence becomes authentic. And authentic confidence is something that people notice immediately, even before they notice the outfit itself. That is why building a complete feminine presentation is never only about fashion. It is also about discovering your creativity, your confidence, and your own unique sense of style. Every new lesson becomes another step forward. Every small improvement becomes another reason to keep learning. And every moment spent enjoying the process makes the final result even more meaningful when you look back at how far you have come. As your experience grows, something interesting begins to happen. You stop asking whether a particular outfit is feminine enough, and you begin asking a much better question. Does this outfit represent the version of myself that I want to express today? That small change in perspective can completely transform the way you approach fashion. Instead of chasing perfection, you start building confidence. Instead of worrying about every tiny detail, you begin appreciating how all the details work together. This is where personal style truly begins. Many people discover that they naturally develop favorite combinations. Certain colors make them feel more confident. Certain fabrics feel more comfortable. Certain accessories become signature pieces that they reach for again and again. There is nothing wrong with having those favorites. In fact, they help create consistency. Consistency is one of the qualities that makes someone appear stylish. It is not about wearing the same thing every day. It is about developing a recognizable sense of taste. As you continue learning, you may also notice that your shopping habits begin to change. Instead of buying something simply because it looks attractive, you begin asking practical questions. Will this work with the clothes I already own? Can I create several outfits using this one piece? Does this match the style I am trying to build? Is it comfortable enough that I will actually enjoy wearing it? Those questions help you make smarter decisions. Over time, your wardrobe becomes more versatile and much easier to coordinate. Another useful habit is learning from every experience. After trying a new look, ask yourself what you liked most. Was it the color? The silhouette? The hairstyle? The confidence you felt? Then ask yourself what you would improve next time. By doing this after every transformation, you continue improving without becoming overly critical of yourself. Growth should feel encouraging, not discouraging. It is also important to understand that trends will always change. Every year brings new colors, different silhouettes, and fresh ideas. You can enjoy those trends if they inspire you, but never feel pressured to follow every single one. Classic style remains timeless because it focuses on balance, simplicity, and confidence. Those qualities never go out of fashion. As your skills improve, you will probably find yourself helping other beginners. You may answer questions, share advice, recommend techniques that worked for you, offer encouragement to someone who feels nervous about taking their first step. That is one of the most rewarding parts of any learning journey. The knowledge you gain eventually becomes something you can pass on. Remember how confusing everything felt when you first started. Think about how many questions you had. Now, imagine being the person who helps someone else feel a little more confident. That creates a positive community where everyone has an opportunity to learn. At the same time, continue being open to learning yourself. Fashion changes. Techniques improve. New ideas appear. There is always another skill to discover. That willingness to keep learning is what keeps your style evolving naturally. Never assume you have reached the point where there is nothing left to learn. Curiosity is one of the greatest strengths you can have. It keeps the experience exciting. It keeps your creativity alive. Most importantly, it reminds you that this journey is meant to be enjoyable. Every improvement, no matter how small, deserves recognition. Every lesson makes the next transformation a little easier. Every moment spent practicing builds another layer of confidence. Eventually, you stop seeing feminine presentation as a challenge that must be completed. Instead, it becomes a creative hobby, a personal passion, and a meaningful way to express yourself. That is when the experience becomes truly rewarding, because you are no longer chasing someone else's definition of beauty. You are building your own, one thoughtful decision at a time. Before we wrap everything up, there is one last idea that can completely change the way you think about your feminine journey. It is easy to believe that the goal is reaching a point where you never make mistakes again. But that moment never really comes, because every new style, every new trend, and every new technique gives you another opportunity to learn. That is actually what makes this experience so rewarding. There is always another combination to try, another color palette to explore, another hairstyle that might surprise you, another outfit that teaches you something about your own preferences. Instead of seeing these moments as challenges, see them as opportunities to become more confident in your own decisions. Over time, you will rely less on other people's opinions and more on your own instincts. You will know when something feels right. You will recognize when an outfit reflects your personality. You will notice that your confidence comes from your own experience rather than outside approval. That is a powerful change. One thing that many experienced crossdressers eventually realize is that confidence is built long before anyone else sees the final result. It begins while you are choosing your outfit, while you are taking your time with the small details, while you are looking in the mirror and appreciating your progress instead of criticizing every tiny imperfection. Those quiet moments matter. They shape the way you see yourself. And the way you see yourself often becomes the way you present yourself to the world. Another valuable habit is celebrating small improvements. Do not wait until everything feels perfect before allowing yourself to feel proud. Maybe your makeup blending is smoother than it was last month. Maybe your wardrobe feels more coordinated. Maybe your styling process is becoming faster and less stressful. Those improvements deserve recognition because they are proof that your effort is paying off. Growth rarely happens all at once. It happens through hundreds of small decisions made consistently over time. Keep your favorite looks in mind, but never stop exploring. Sometimes stepping outside your comfort zone introduces you to a style that becomes your new favorite. Be open to change. Be open to learning. Be open to surprising yourself. The journey becomes much more enjoyable when curiosity replaces fear. Remember that elegance is often found in simplicity. You do not need to wear everything at once. You do not need every trend. You do not need the most expensive wardrobe. You simply need thoughtful choices that work together and reflect who you are. When comfort, confidence, and personal style come together, they create something far more meaningful than a fashionable outfit. They create authenticity. And authenticity is something that never goes out of style. As you continue developing your feminine presentation, you will realize that the biggest transformation is not always visible in the mirror. It happens in your mindset. You become more patient, more creative, more confident, more willing to express yourself without constantly seeking perfection. That inner growth becomes the strongest foundation of all. Everything else, your clothing, your styling, your accessories, and every finishing touch, simply builds upon that foundation, allowing your unique personality to shine through in a way that feels natural and genuinely your own.